Sanwo-Olu had a wonderful time out there, and I'm sure he will be back on the streets of Lagos not too long a time from now doing some other demographies. I particularly like the idea about which one is more costly to the system. Incompetence or stealing.
Or stealing. And,
and somebody made mention of the fact, somebody mentioned the fact that if you're incompetent, then you can't be a good thief. And then if you're a very good thief, then your level of destruction of the system will be so high. So it's like you're caught between the devil and the deep blue sea.
And the deep blue sea. But then, you know, he was talking about feeling the pulse, and on social media, people are still commenting. And this is an interesting one. INEC should make sure that the card readers they're recalling to Anambra must be taken from all the states, and not just states from the opposition strongholds, which amounts to technical rigging. And then we have another one that says, as a matter of urgency, give Nigerians a comprehensive investigation report about what caused the inferno and bring the culprits to book.
Yeah, well, that one will be for INEC. Yeah. But I guess that then brings us to one key issue. Because when people say things like, when you're recalling or you're mopping up, to use the phrase that was used, card readers for this emergency that is now the situation in Anambra, and they say, well, don't take them only from opposition strongholds, take them from across the country. It points to something even more basic, which is the principle of trust between the voter and the umpire. It's like you have a situation where you're in a football match and the players don't trust the referee. Why is that so? Let me start again from you, Mr. Ogunye.
Well, it's historical. Yesterday, one of your panelists spoke about the history of electoral violence in Nigeria. And he claimed that, according to Sheikh Lemu report, which said that electoral violence has become a culture in Nigeria, we've always had this problem, right, from N22. Well, my opinion is different. And that's what I want to use to illustrate the point I'm making. We don't have a culture of electoral violence in Nigeria. We have a tradition of electoral injustices, triggering occasional electoral violence. We are not base animals. Nigerians are human beings. They are discerning. We've had elections in this country. The 1959 election, superintended by the British, who are departing, it was largely free and fair. The parties didn't complain. It was like violence-free. But after that, 1962 came, the ruling party at the center smashed an opposition party because of its authoritarian intolerance. And that party was smashed, its leadership was liquidated, sent to prison. Then 1964 general election, violence resumed. 1965 Western regional election, violence resumed. Right? In 1979, election superintended by the military, largely, no violence. In the June 12, 1993 election, no violence anywhere. Again, superintended by the military, right? 1999, largely no violence. But when the politician came and they started, so also was the 1983 election. So now, what causes this distrust is a perceived manipulation of the process by the umpire at the behest of the political powers that be. Once the electorate have that belief or even perception, the distrust will be there. Yes, and so I'm saying that that trust will have to be earned over time. In 2015, you saw the way Nigerians celebrated Jega for one incident. His equanimity, his calmness in the face of a disruptive behavior. And so people started celebrating that and said, even if you are threatened by an Orubebe, you have the calmness or anointing of Jega. So they like that. So this trust must be earned over time. And with that,
I'm going to ask you as well to respond to the trust issue. But looking, commenting on it from the polls, the field polls that we had, listening to what they were saying about the kind of leader they want and the stress that they've gone through, what does that tell you about the trust issue that we have right now?
I'm going to speak to that, but I'll give it a base, you know. Historical, yes. But more importantly, behavioral. Raising the fundamental question of why the mistrust exists. And I quickly go back to your analysis. You see, politics is a game, whether you like it or not. You liken it to a football match, but football matches can be played under two different circumstances. One can be friendly, in which what is at stake is that, okay, I play my skill, you play your skill, and everybody goes home without winner takes all. The other one could be a match that has something at stake, where the winner takes everything and loser loses everything. I think in Nigeria, we play politics of winner takes all and loser loses everything. It's a zero-sum game. So long as politics in Nigeria continues to be zero-sum game, where political elite get political power to deal with opposition and to amass wealth for themselves, desperation will never, behaviorally speaking, never stop. And that is why you see the desperation, the suspicion, the mistrust, and everything that you have there. So going back to the people, which kind of leader do we want? Is it better to have a thief? Is that not what you are referring to?
That was what happened.
A big thief, or what? Incompetent person. I mean, it's like asking yourself, which is better between jumping to the lagoon and jumping to the gutter? Either way, you are still going to be stained. But I think, and this is me thinking, that if you have a thief, the law makes clear provision for handling the thief, all things being equal.
If
all things being equal. But if you have an incompetent person who, in the first place, does not even have the capacity to understand, interpret, analyze, observe, and perceive, that incompetence will run, and people will still heavily under that incompetence, even when the person at the helm of the affair is not even stealing. And it's going to be like a blind man riding a horse. 2 to 3, you are going to have an accident, and the disaster is going to be heavy.
Let me go to Abuja. Let me go to Abuja and speak to Mr. Okoye. They showed you briefly while Dr. Isuola was speaking. Now we return to the issue of the electoral umpire and the issue of trust. Most people talk, when they talk about the electoral umpire, they say, oh yes, INEC is supposed to conduct elections, INEC conducts elections. But as evidenced by even some of what we heard tonight, immediately anything happens, there's the basic sign of distrust about what the process is and about what the electoral umpire is doing and how fair it is. And that's where the issue of outcomes come in. Why are results contested all the time? There's so much litigation resulting from elections in Nigeria. What has INEC as a body done to alter this perception, even if we just say in the last couple of years? Let's not go too far back. In the last couple of years.
Well, I think that the issue of trust is out there in the public domain, and is a reality. Some Nigerians do not trust the electoral umpire. And this issue of trust permeates in almost everything we are doing. But I think that the basic question that must be asked is this. Constitutionally and legally speaking, what are the basic functions given to the Independent National Electoral Commission by those who created or those who drafted the Nigerian Constitution? One, the electoral umpire has been asked to organize and undertake and supervise the various categories of elections that are stated in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The electoral umpire has also been asked to superintend or supervise the activities of political parties, monitor their finances, register the political parties, and do some other things that are clearly stated in the Constitution. Now, in relation to this particular election, on the 9th day of January 2018, the Independent National Electoral Commission rolled out its
timetable and schedule of activities for the purposes of the 2019 elections. And there are 14 items on that particular timetable and schedule of activities. Out of the 14, we are down to the 12th item on the timetable and schedule of activities. We have followed all the items religiously without even missing a single one. The day we say we are going to roll out any activity, we rolled it out. But the truth of the matter is that this issue of trust has its own history, and I don't want to go into the history of why there is a lack of trust in our elections. My assurance to the Nigerian people is that in terms of, for instance, the voters register, we have compiled a voters register that is very, very, very robust, and I believe that it is a voters register that the Nigerian people should be proud of. Secondly, we were asked to monitor the conduct of party primary elections. We monitor the conduct of party primary elections and also issue the report in relation to the conduct of party primary elections. We told the Nigerian people that the party primary elections this time around was the most acrimonious the country has ever witnessed. And because of that, a spate of litigations have arisen. In all the issues arising from the party primary elections, we make contingency plans on how we will take care of it to make sure that the acrimony arising from the conduct of party primary elections does not disrupt any part of the elections. And we are dealing with that. Now, in relation to the issue that is at hand, in relation to the issue of the challenges we've had in some of the party offices of the commission, and in relation to the challenge we have in Anambra, I think that the Nigerian people ought to express some level of outrage while we are working assiduously to make sure that we conduct credible elections. We are having all these challenges that are completely outside the control of the commission. So I think that in relation to the issues we have been asked to handle, we have been handling them very, very well. And I think that the Nigerian people should give the Independent National Electoral Commission the benefit of doubt. I acknowledge that the commission has its own drawbacks, has its own challenges, and that some of the issues that has led to this issue of lack of trust are issues that have arisen from past elections. And we are working to end the trust of the Nigerian people. And the only way we can end the trust of the Nigerian people is by following through all the activities that we're organizing, and also by following through all the activities we have said we are going to organize. In terms of the challenge in Anambra,
because I'm sure we can go on and on.
But let me just
ask you this
that we are going
briefly.
to